Hartelijk welkom bij het Ministerie voor Zelfzorg. Het Ministerie voor Zelfzorg maakt elke 2 weken een podcast over onze gezondheid, over leefstijl. En de ene keer kijken we naar onze fysieke gezondheid, de andere keer mentaal, emotioneel, maar ook spirituele gezondheid komt voorbij, zelfs seksuele gezondheid en financiële gezondheid. Inmiddels hebben we zo'n 115 podcasts gemaakt. En wie zijn wij? Tatjana Romanik en ik, Ard Pisa. En we nodigen ook regelmatig een expert uit in onze afleveringen. En in deze aflevering duiken we in de fascinerende wereld van nanomineralen en hun mogelijke rol in onze gezondheid. Mineralen zijn onmisbaar voor vrijwel elk proces in ons lichaam, van energie en focus tot ontspanning en herstel. Maar toch kampen veel mensen vaak zonder het te weten met tekorten. En hoe kan dat nou? En waarom lijken reguliere supplementen niet altijd het gewenste effect te hebben? We gaan in gesprek met Steven van Nanomineralen uit Heemstede. Steven deelt zijn visie op de werking van mineralen op celniveau, de betekenis van opneembaarheid en waarom kleiner soms juist krachtiger is. Dit gesprek is geen pleidooi, maar een uitnodiging tot zelfonderzoek. Verwacht een open en een verdiepend gesprek over wetenschap, ervaring en bewustwording. Met als centraal thema: hoe kunnen we ons lichaam beter ondersteunen in een wereld waarin voeding steeds armer wordt? Luister, onderzoek en voel vooral wat voor jou klopt. Steven, van harte welkom bij het Ministerie voor Zelfzorg.
Art, how's it going? Nice to see you again.
Ja, nice to see you again. Voor de luisteraars, Steven is geboren in een ander land. Zijn moedertaal is de Engelse taal. Ik stel de vragen in het Nederlands, speciaal voor het Nederlands publiek, maar Steven antwoordt wel in zijn moedertaal. Steven, fijn dat je hier bent in de podcast. We gaan het vandaag hebben over die nanomineralen. Maar misschien zijn er wel mensen die nog nooit gehoord hebben van nanomineralen. Wel van mineralen, maar nano betekent heel klein. Wat zijn nanomineralen precies? En waarvan verschillen ze van reguliere mineralen? Kan je er iets over zeggen?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So first of all, most people have an issue with the word nano if it
Ja.
has anything to do with their food or food supplements. And that's the first myth that we're going to explode today. And one of my hobbies, one of my great passions is exploding myths and putting some truth there. So nano, first of all, what you need to know about nano is that Mother Nature does nano. Plants, one of the ways that we get our metals and minerals, and yes, we need metals, not just minerals, is through plants. Because what happens with plants is plants, especially the wild ones, bring up metals, minerals from the deeper earth. And the bacteria and the roots of these plants break down these metals into nanoparticles. And those nanoparticles are taken up into the plants and we eat them. And that's one of the ways that Mother Nature actually feeds us these essential metals. Now, take, for example, magnesium, which is the most sold food supplement on planet Earth.
Mhm.
There is not one single brand that actually gives you pure magnesium. It's always magnesium as magnesium citrate or some other impurity. These are impurities. These are verbindingen in Nederlands,
Ja.
compounds. Um, Nano magnesium is the only truly pure magnesium supplement. And the reason why it's so good is because it goes through the soft tissues directly into the bloedbaan
Mhm.
and it bypasses the digestive system. So that's the advantage of nanometals or nanominerals. They bypass the digestive system. They're in the exact form that your body needs to absorb them and use them immediately, which is why if you get a nano magnesium, it is instantly effective.
Ja, je noemt nu mineralen en metalen. En ik denk dat dat voor heel veel mensen nieuw is. Heel veel mensen kennen wat jij zegt, hè, de magnesium en kalium. Maar metalen, over welke metalen hebben we het dan?
Well, zinc is a metal, iron is a metal, magnesium is a metal. These are things that you need, and yet most people have it in their head. Ooh, zware metalen. Ooh, gift, gift. That isn't the truth. That is a lie perpetrated by the pharmaceutical cartel to
Mhm.
divert you from the truth. The same lie, the same organizations have lied to you about platinum, about gold, about all these precious metals. All of these things are to divert you from the fact that you should be supplementing with these precious metals. Like I said, if you don't have enough gold in your brain, you cannot understand the words that I am saying. You can't think without gold in your brain. That's a fact.
Dit is wel mind-blowing, want ik denk dat heel weinig mensen gehoord hebben van goud in onze hersenen. En dat we goud, zilver, platinum nodig hebben in ons lichaam. Er is niemand die denkt van, nou, laat eens een keer een stukje goud of zilver gaan eten of drinken.
Yeah, it doesn't work quite like that. You
Nee,
you can't
precies.
just start swallowing all these metals. You have to have them in exactly the right form. But like for example, rhodium, which is more expensive than gold, it is a platinum metal, will actually get your pineal gland to produce more melatonin and DMT, your own natural dimethyltryptamine. This is far, far better for you than taking DMT. Most people, it gets up, people use that as a drug to open up their minds, open up their pineal glands. But actually, when you do that, what you're doing is you are suppressing your pineal gland's ability to produce its own DMT. But when you take rhodium, when you supplement with rhodium, you are actually giving your pineal gland the metal that it needs to produce more melatonin. And when your pineal gland produces more melatonin, it will then take that overproduction and refine it into DMT.
Mhm. De natuur is briljant, hè, Steven. Dat betekent dus, als ik jou zo hoor praten, dat goud, zilver, rhodium gewoon dus in in planten zit. In wat wij eten, of niet? Waar zit bijvoorbeeld dan goud, zilver of rhodium? In wat voor planten zit dat dan? Waar we helemaal
Well,
niet over nadenken, wat we ons helemaal niet beseffen dat het daarin zit.
yeah, good question. You'll find in the purple colored plants, there is trace amounts of
Mhm.
these precious metals, but nowhere near what you need. And nowadays, with modern farming, it's gone. There is very, very, very little, far too little for us. We are deficient in all of these metals. But that is also designed by nature. It's not. I can't just blame
Mhm.
big agriculture for this deficiency. It is also by nature because, quite frankly, nature is not fair, and these metals do raise human consciousness. These metals, which is why they are banned for human consumption. I, as the founder of the Health Factory, am not allowed to sell you gold, platinum, rhodium, ruthenium, osmium, iridium, and palladium for internal consumption. And I have to make that clear on the bottle.
Ja.
That's bullshit. Total bullshit. because it is essential, because this is what the pharaohs did to elevate their consciousness. This is knowledge from thousands of years ago. This is truly ancient wisdom. This is the pharaohs were all about becoming like the gods, their gods, connecting with the universe, with the Halal. And this is a very big part of how they did that, of how they were able to elevate their consciousness, was with these metals.
Hebben we nog enig idee, Steven, hoe die oude farao's dat deden? Hoe ze dan de juiste hoeveelheid van die metalen binnenkregen? Bijvoorbeeld als je dan
Yeah,
kijkt naar goud, hoe deden ze dat? Wij kunnen ons daar
yeah.
helemaal niks bij voorstellen. Ja, misschien in een gouden bad of zo te liggen, maar volgens mij ging het anders.
Yes, did go a different way. They had a method of manufacturing what is incorrectly called monatomic gold. I love that term, monatomic gold, because it is, again, a way of misleading people.
Mhm,
Because you see, atoms don't exist on their own, they like to be in groups. Now, and this is a bit technical,
mhm,
but a molecule is a group of atoms held together in a rigid structure. Okay?
mhm,
Atoms, when you talk about the precious metals, the eight noble metals, gold, silver, etc., the atoms, the individual atoms, are not metal. They are not metallic.
mhm.
They are ceramisch.
Oké.
They're ceramic.
Mhm,
It's the bonds, the verbindingen that holds these metals together. The verbindingen, the bonds that holds the atoms together, those are the metals.
mhm,
What we do is we change a molecule into a nanocluster, and now what you have is the atoms holding together in a group that is energetically held together, not rigidly held together. So these atoms now are vibrating
mhm.
at the same frequency as a single atom. This is a very, very high frequency. And that is what you want. You want a nano cluster
Mhm.
because now you have the atoms in their true state, which is ceramic and supergeleidend.
Mhm.
You swallow this, it's instantly into the bloodstream through the soft tissue, and the body can break up a nanocluster immediately. It takes that energy. Your body takes that energy from the nanocluster, takes the atoms, and puts them exactly where it needs them.
Prachtig. Dus het gaat eigenlijk allemaal om frequentie, Steven. Het
Yes.
gaat om frequentie. En hoe ben
Yes.
jij daarachter gekomen dat het om frequentie ging en hoe je dit dus kan maken in een product? Hoe ben je daarachter gekomen? Via ancient geschriften, boeken of heb je gewoon een download? Hoe ben jij aan die kennis gekomen om dit te kunnen maken überhaupt?
All of those methods that you just mentioned, it started with a fascination
Ja.
and it started with research. And then I started making the colloidal silver, and I was making very rudimentary colloidal, very basic colloidal silver. And that I refined the process. I met probably the biggest brain in the world with regards to manufacturing colloids and also health. He had a list of letters after his name. He was a professor of everything to do with natural health, as well as a medical doctor, as well as an electrical engineer. He was a genius. And I met him. I was blessed to meet this man, and we discussed we had a similar goal and we discussed what we wanted to do and we developed the technology together. But he was truly a professor, you know, a big brain professor. And these guys have no concept of commerciality. I loved this guy. He was brilliant. But he also had a big mouth. And I was like, dude, you have got to stop talking about these things because I'm trying to build a business here. And that means, you know, you got to do things a certain way. And he just was like, oh, yeah, yeah, Stephen, okay, fine, fine, fine. Anyways, he passed away not that long ago. And you know, as much as I loved him, I was like, okay, good. At least now the technology is safe. It's a terrible thing to say, but hey, it is what it is. Um, but you asked me a question. And going back, actually, this goes back to the pharaohs. My Sometimes, you know, you when you're a young man, you feel like fate means nothing. It's a kind of the arrogance of youth. You are convinced that you are going to write your own destiny. You're going to follow your own path. As an older man now, I look back and I see I was taken to the room in the desert, in the Sinai desert, where Moses's metallurge, and if you look in the Old Testament, his name was Bezalel, and he was instructed by God in every science to do with metal. He knew everything, and he was trained personally by God himself, or Enki, in making everything to do with metal. This means that he understood how to make what the Egyptians called mufkuts.
Mhm.
Mufkuts is described as white powder of gold, but it is also the energy field, the quantum field, in which these products are existing because true white powder of gold doesn't exist completely in our dimension. It's known for this. It disappears when it's heated beyond 800 degrees. It just disappears. When it cools down, there it is again. But it's physically not there anymore. It literally steps out of our dimension and into another one and then comes back. Amazing stuff. So I saw this place. I won't go into the circumstances around it, but I saw this place, this room. And you know, my life led me in a certain direction. And I tell you, if you'd have said to me back then, this is back in the 80s, that I would be producing these products today, I would have just laughed at you in my arrogance. And now I see that, in fact, I was guided step by step to be exactly where I am today. There is no way of avoiding that fact. It was destiny. And that's a truly humbling thing to have to say, you know, because it's like, you know, I was an extremely arrogant, self-confident, cocksure young man. And, you know, it just that didn't sit well with me.
Prachtig, wauw. Echt, ik voel hem, Steven. Wat een prachtig verhaal. Even een zijstapje, hè, wat er nu allemaal in Egypte gebeurt, hè, met de nieuwe ontwikkelingen. En dan gaan we weer verder, zeg maar, naar op celniveau. Maar wat er nu allemaal in Egypte gebeurt met nieuwe ontdekkingen. Denk je dat we nu door dat nieuwe onderzoek, hè, met die nieuwe systemen onder de grond, dat we hele grote ontdekkingen gaan doen in Egypte, wat ook weer gelinkt is aan het bevorderen van gezondheid, bijvoorbeeld de kennis over metalen, dat die weer terug gaat komen? Hoe kijk jij daarnaar?
Well, you're talking about the halls of Amenti.
Yeah, of
And
course, of course.
yeah, that's so cool and it's so exciting and it is so not surprising. because I mean, mythology and history is an obsession for me.
Mhm.
Without that, it's part and parcel of my obsession with the noble metals. And I am a I've read Herodotus, I've read Plato. Herodotus is known as the world's first historian. He predated Plato, and he visited Giza while the Egyptian Empire was still just about existent. And he wrote that he went and he visited the city underneath Giza. It was accessible in those days, 2000 odd years ago. And he wrote about what he saw in literally the underground city, which is still there. Yeah, they can't hide it anymore. It can't be hidden anymore, even though the Minister of Antiquities, whose name I've now forgotten, but
Hawass.
Zahi Hawass,
Zahi
that's him.
Hawass.
Zahi Hawass, yeah, he is not a friend of humanity,
No, not at all.
and not at all. But he can't hide it anymore. And thank God for that. This is truly the age of the truth. This quantum age that we're in, which the whole thing was started by the internet.
Mhm.
The whole thing was started by the internet. Without that, we wouldn't be having this great awakening of humanity that is happening now.
Ja, maar en je zegt the age of the truth. Ik denk ook the age of the truth over wie wij zijn, wie wij werkelijk zijn. Weet je, dit is zo perfect door wie of wat dan ook gemaakt en de werking daarvan. Er zit een ongekend vermogen in ons en om ons heen, waar we echt nog geen idee van hebben. Alleen we moeten wel voor zorgen dat we het goed verzorgen, dat we goed ons voeden. En dat is niet alleen qua wat we innemen, maar in alle dimensies, hè, emotioneel, spiritueel, mentaal, nou ja, al die factoren die ik al heb genoemd. Maar als je even kijkt, zeg maar, naar die voeding, hè, de nanomineralen. Wat gebeurt er op celniveau als die nanomineralen binnenkomen en als die frequentie van die nanomineralen binnenkomt in ons lichaam?
So, first of all, let's look at the frequency issue.
Ja.
When I make these products, um, we are programming frequencies into the production.
Mhm.
We are using sacred geometric shapes in the electronics, believe it or not, which is quite something. Our electronics are actually have geometric forms in them, sacred geometric forms built into the actual circuitry. Quite a feat to accomplish. This was one of the things that this genius professor did with our equipment. But I want to give you an example. Let's say you walk into, let's say you're feeling sick, all right, and you thought, okay, I'm going to go to a health food store. And you walk into the store and you see a wall of products. You see products with powders, products with pills, and products with fluids in them. And all of these products, you see, we now know every thought that you have goes out. We are light beings. We create light. We have a bioluminescence, and this bioluminescence is also a form of communication. And every thought that you project, every thought that you have is projected. And that energy and that concept that you've thought of, I feel like shit, is going into the water in all of those products. Even Even the powders and the pills have 5% water in them.
Mhm.
Your energy, your sick thought, your sick energy is being broadcasted into those products. Finn, can you give me one of those pots?
Mhm.
Thank you. Now, um, there's only one packaging material that actually allows that prevents that energetically separates the information from inside the product from all the information that's outside the product. And I'm not allowed to mention commercial names, but you'll recognize this dark violet color.
Mhm.
Can you give me that spray there? I won't show the brand, but this dark violet color, this is the only packaging material that I've ever come across that can separate energetically information that is outside from information that is inside.
Mhm.
And that really makes a huge difference to the quality of product that you are putting into your body. You've got to think about these things. Am I putting negative information, even if it is a good product? Is it, am I swallowing all this negativity with it? You know, this is the age that we live in. We now have awareness of this, and it's all about taking a little bit of responsibility for your own health. And that means informing yourself. This is what it's all about.
Ja. Eigenlijk gaat het allemaal om informatiewater. Hè? Je brengt informatie in het water. En het is natuurlijk niet voor niks dat wij zijn uitgerust, hè, als je kijkt naar ons lichaam, met 70, 80% met water. Alleen dat water in ons is niet zomaar H2O scheikundig gezien, maar dat is een hexagonale waterstructuur. Het is gestructureerd water om die informatie te kunnen opslaan en kunnen te verspreiden. En jullie brengen dat in een bottel met water. Verschillende soorten metalen. Maar even voor, Steven, voor de sceptici. Hè? Er zijn heel veel mensen hè, die denken, Steven, we hebben het over informatiewater, over frequentie. Oké, leuk die producten, maar is er überhaupt ergens wat wetenschap hierover? Die vraag wordt altijd
There's
gesteld. Vertel.
Well, there's an awful lot of science behind it.
Ja,
Actually, a shocking amount of science behind it. Let me just start with silver.
mhm.
Okay. Silver, first of all, was approved, I believe it was in 1937, as a drug, as
Ja,
a biocide, as an antibiotic, as the first antibiotic
klopt.
by by the Fed, by the FDA, sorry.
Mhm.
And it was only in 1940 that when you had the invention, the creation of penicillin, that the pharmaceutical cartel was born and started making penicillin, and silver had hit $100 an ounce, and that killed colloidal silver. But in World War One, it was actually colloidal silver that kept the soldiers alive during the Spanish flu. You see, they were giving colloidal silver to all the soldiers back then. It's the only thing that kept them fighting. Um, so, and nowadays, there's so much, in fact, there is so much science, there's more science behind silver as a medicine than there is on, I think, any other drug that the pharmaceutical cartel has created. Now, why would I say that? By dint of the fact that colloidal silver is older as a healing remedy, as a method of healing than any other drug in existence. And it's not a drug, it is very simply a pure killer of bacteria, virus, and fungus.
Ja, ja,
That's what it
parasieten,
is.
parasieten. Hè? Het pakt alles
Also,
aan, hè? Het pakt alles aan.
Well, be careful. Silver does kill the first stage of parasites.
Hmm.
Only the single-celled stage of
Okay.
parasites. It kills them. It will not kill any multi-celled organisms. So it's no good against multicellular fungi, single cellular fungi, yes, not the multicellular. But then, hey, you have copper for the multicellular bad bugs. There is Mother Nature has provided every solution that we need.
Mm.
Um, your question about science. Yes, there is a huge, more science about silver than anything else. A huge amount of science about gold. Because guess what? Gold has been used for health purposes for thousands of years. The very great Paracelsus himself, one of the fathers of modern medicine, used and made colloidal gold. And he said that gold made you feel good. And he didn't mean having a pocket full of gold coins. What he meant was that gold actually is essential for your dopamine production, for your own natural dopamine production. If you don't have enough gold, then your dopamine neurons are inefficient. They do not give you the feeling, the dopamine feeling that you're supposed to have. If you have a high natural level of working dopamine, you are not prone to addictions like drugs, alcohol, sex, my own personal one, chocolate, any of these things. I mean, let me tell you, let me give you a little personal anecdote. When I first started making the nano gold, I started taking it. Now I was probably about 10 kilos heavier, and I was absolutely addicted to chocolate. My kids, this was the way my life worked. I'd come home from work, I'd spend an hour or two with my kids, and I'd put them to bed after dinner, and then I had a large bar of chocolate in the cupboard. And if I didn't have that large bar of chocolate in the cupboard, I was not a happy camper. And my wife found out about it. And I would then have to get on my bicycle and go to the damn gas station to get my bar of chocolate because I had to have my chocolate. Now, I'd been on the gold for about a month, and I went to the normal routine, kids in the bed. I come downstairs, I go to the cupboard, get my chocolate bar, and I go to the cupboard and no damn chocolate bar. I was like, and I went and sat down and did whatever I was doing. And the wife looked at me like, what? And she thought, okay, okay. Because normally I wouldn't sit down. I'd get on the bike and I'd go to the gas station, but I sat down and the next, she thought, okay, I'm going to try to forget the chocolate again tomorrow. And she did. And I went to the cupboard and there's no chocolate in the cupboard. I didn't have any the night before. And now I wasn't going to have any tonight. And then it dawned on me I didn't have to have the chocolate. This is massive. You don't understand how serious this is. I mean, I didn't have to have it. You see, I could have it. Now look, I'm a nice guy. If you have a big chocolate problem, you got a pile of chocolate there, I'll help you eat it. I'm not going to leave you alone. But I did not have to have it. The edge of the craving was gone, and that was from the gold. The
Wow.
dopamine level had come up, you see,
Hmm.
and I just didn't have to have it. You know, I used to drink a lot of alcohol. I don't drink alcohol anymore. It's like it's all these things have left my life. All these negative things have gone. And a lot of it comes down to the fact that my level of dopamine is naturally higher. And that is down to the gold.
Hmm. En hoe wist je, Steven, hoeveel je nodig had? Was dat op gevoel of heb je gewoon wat geprobeerd? Of...
Yes. Well, we did an awful lot of testing back in the day. And of
Hm,
course, everything I make, I use myself for months before it ever gets to the market, as well as testing it with other people. And we have bioresonance therapists with their devices who can
hm,
test much of the product gets into the cells, what the effects are, how much of it is in the blood. We also have everything tested in an independent laboratory so that we know exactly what we're making and what we've got and what we're doing. And what I've done is I have built all of the nanos to the point where, for the average 30 to 40-year-old person of average health, you take a 30 milliliter borrelglasje as a daily dose.
Oké, daily. Oké. En hoe weet je welke metalen je nodig hebt?
You need,
Kan je dat uittesten?
yeah, you can. You can. I mean, I love bioresonance therapists
Hm, ik
because
ook.
honestly, their technology is NASA technology. It
Hm,
was originally designed to give real-time analysis of astronauts in space using scalar waves. I love
hm.
that. I love that. We are talking Tesla stuff,
Ja,
man.
dit is Tesla, ja.
Yeah,
Ja.
yeah, it's beautiful. And now we have all of these amazing therapists down here on planet Earth who are using this tech. And I love those guys. I've owe them a great deal because I've done a lot of development using their geneeskunde, their expertise, and their knowledge.
Hm. Hey Steven, hoe zie jij de toekomst van dit soort supplementen en zelfzorg? Er wordt best
I
wel
want,
veel tegengewerkt. Ik zie nu ook weer op de flessen van Cordiaal Zilver dat er niet eens meer op staat waarvoor het is. Dat mag ook niet meer. Maar hoe zie jij de toekomst?
well, it's like this, I mean, the brand, my brand, the Health Factory, has been around now for nearly what 20, getting on for 25 years.
Wauw,
Um,
dat is
and
al lang.
people know what we're doing. People understand what we're making. They There's a lot of knowledge needed to go out still. Like, for example, platinum, people don't understand the amazingness product of platinum and what it can do for them, with regards to like balancing left and right brain hemispheres, releasing a lot of energy, preventing energy waste, getting rid of all these alphabet soup, mental, cognitive issues, and just balancing. It is the amazing. If gold is the emotional uplift,
Mhm.
then platinum is the balancer, and it
Oké.
creates a balance into life. What is the future? Well, the future is people like you, who are not afraid to speak, who are bringing out truth, who will listen to madmen like me and give me a platform and allow me to just go free and say everything I want to say.
Hm,
Um, the future is the future belongs to people who are not afraid to speak their minds, and
precies.
that is that is the future. That is why I'm here with you. We connected months ago when we met, and I knew I'd found a kindred spirit. I loved your talk. Oh, that reminds me, I'm supposed to say something about my talk coming up, aren't I? Yeah. Can I do? Should I do that now or shall I wait?
Nee, doe het nou.
So Nano Mineralen Academy, nanomineralen.com and
Hm,
nanomineralen.nl is doing a webinar on the 9th of March about silver, nano
oké.
silver, about
Mhm.
using it. We are launching a new product this year, which I am super excited about, silica. And there's a webinar on the 14th of April. But the reason why I'm so excited about silica now, silica is one of these basic minerals. That is a mineral, not a metal.
Mm.
Uh, I'm going to, because I'm scatterbrained, I produced something which, just a little paragraph. I'm just to refresh people's minds about the benefits and why silica is important. The benefits of silica, it benefits the body because it boosts collagen production. So does gold, your own production of collagen. It's essential for strong, full hair, for the elasticity and hydration of skin and nails, for the bone density, for especially women who suffer from bone density loss. It's extremely important. It creates resistance to breakage and fractures. It is essential for connective tissue like cartilage, improving joint flexibility, supporting heart health, strengthening blood vessels. It is also essential for digestion and it supports the immune system. Furthermore, it has powerful antioxidant properties, helping to protect against inflammation and arterial issues.
Wow.
That, yeah, silica is important, but here's the thing. And we've tested this with the bioresonance therapists
Hmm.
and we're getting one for one the same results with these guys. We've tested several of the big brands and the small brands that are on the shelves. Silica is extremely bio unavailable. It is heel moeilijk op te nemen.
Mm.
It is niet opnaambaar. It's heel moeilijk, heel lastig. The nanosilica, because this is a nano product that we're bringing out,
Hmm.
we are seeing and this is from a 500 milliliter bottle, a half a liter bottle, we're seeing as much as 26% uptake in the cells.
So,
Not in the blood, in the cells.
mm.
That's really important fact. That is real opnaambaarheid. This is
Mm.
why we always say 100% opnaambaar with these products because they are. But now here's the thing. Silica, and I produce these talks called Ancient Gold. Ancient Gold 1 is about the history of the noble metals, gold, platinum, silver. I mean, why did gold become valuable thousands of years ago? What was it about gold? It's got nothing to do with money. It's got nothing to do with the stock market. It's got nothing to do with any of that. I've said something about what it has to do with, but there's an enormous, mind-blowing story behind it.
Ja,
To do
geloof ik
with the
graag.
Anunnaki,
Oh, ja, heerlijk. Oh.
to do with all of this great stuff. That's Ancient Gold 1. But then I did Ancient Gold 2,
Mhm.
and Ancient Gold 2 is only and exclusively about silica. Silica, there's something unknown about. Silica, there is something very, very important about silica that has been hidden from humanity and hidden since the dawn of time. And that is what Ancient Gold 2 is about. I believe that silica has a key role to play in humanity evolving to the next step. And our next evolutionary step is not the normal evolution that you see on this planet where animals evolve step by step. Humanity didn't evolve step by step. We were artificially evolved. And human chromosome number 2 proves that beyond any shadow of doubt. It is proof that humanity was artificially was genetically modified into existence 450 to 500,000 years ago. There's no doubt about that. Science, the science, as they like to say, the science is settled. That this is artificial genetic modification in every human being. Um,
Ja, dit klinkt echt heel veelbelovend, Steven. En bij deze kan ik je zeggen, alles wat jullie maken in je academy, dat wil ik mee helpen verspreiden. Door middel van onze kanalen, die stel ik daarvoor beschikbaar. Of dat nou Telegram is of Instagram. Dus dat wil ik met alle liefde verspreiden. Omdat de waarheid over deze krachtige middelen mogen gewoon weer verspreid worden onder de mensen. Want de mensen hebben geen idee, echt geen idee. Maar eventjes, hè, jullie hebben een heel assortiment aan prachtige producten op de plank staan. Nanomineralen, of de frequentie in water. Moet je nou alles elke dag nemen of heb je een bepaald programma? Hoe kijken jullie daarnaar? Hè, want jullie hebben
so
iets van 10 of 12 flessen staan en moet ik nou elke fles elke dag een derde borrelglaasje innemen?
you don't actually have to do that.
Oké.
What I would thoroughly recommend is that everyone should start with a silver detox.
Mhm.
Uh, because silver is truly the only way that you can really decimate pathogenic load. You using a the product, and I have to be very careful what I say.
Ik snap het, dat snap ik, ja.
Got the MVVA probably paying attention. Um, Using nanoparticles of silver, you can destroy your pathogenic load. And this is one of the most powerful things that you can do for your health. I would definitely start there. And then, magnesium is something you need every day. Silica,
Ja.
zinc
Mhm.
and silica. Actually, zinc you need, especially us men, you need this every single day. There are certain ones that you need every single day. Iron every other day. Women need a lot more iron than us men because they have their monthly cycle. Um, but these are truly bioavailable nanoparticles that, especially the iron. I mean, think about iron. First of all, it's in water, it has no taste. But secondly, every single blood vessel, every molecule of blood in your body has an atom of iron at its core. And if you are getting nanoclusters of iron, it doesn't get any easier than that for your body to break it down and put it straight into the blood. And when you put it in your mouth, it is immediately in the bloodbahn.
Ja.
So, think about that when you think about what food supplement to buy, because it's not about how much you swallow. It's how much can your body absorb.
Ja,
You take
precies.
these great big horse pills of magnesium, and 9 times out of 10, they come out of your body the same way they went in.
Ja, ja, absoluut. Hey Steven, we gaan langzaam naar een afronding. We zullen bij deze podcast de Academy, jullie website plaatsen. Ehm, kan je de luisteraars meegeven wat je hebt geleerd over gezondheid? Wat heb je fundamenteel, wat heeft het fundamenteel veranderd in de afgelopen, nou ja, 23, 24 jaar dat je hiermee bezig bent? Wat is er fundamenteel veranderd, je mening over gezondheid, nu je hier zo mee
So,
bezig bent?
the first thing, the most important thing, well, God, you asked me this question, and my head is now filled up with 10 billion things that I want to communicate. But I think because of where we are, what we have, the amount of time that we have, the most important thing is do the tiny little bit of research.
Mhm.
If you have a health problem, research it. If you think you have a health problem, um, start looking at it now. Invest just a little bit of time in research. Okay. That's the most
Ja,
important thing. Why is that the most important thing? Because if you don't do that, You are trusting the pharmaceutical cartel with your life. And you have to understand what the pharmaceutical cartel is.
Ja,
This is an organization that is designed to do one thing and one thing only. That is, make the maximum amount of profit for the pharmaceutical cartel. Now that,
gebaseerd allemaal op aardolie.
sorry, say that again.
Ik zei, alles is gebaseerd op aardolie, omdat de familie Rockefeller in, wat is het, 1895 dacht, we hebben te veel aardolie, hoe kunnen we dat nou eens op de markt brengen? Ja, zo is de farmaceutische industrie ontstaan, gewoon op basis van aardolie.
Exactly. He
Ja,
took his money, he started giving a lot of it to the universities, which then changed from being based on naturopathy
ja,
and natural herbal earth-based healing remedies to oil-based pharmaceutical drugging. And that, you are exactly right. That is what he did. He took all these natural remedies and then started making them from oil-based products. And that is what the pharmaceutical industry is based on. That plus the hijacking of the education system. He took over medicine in that way. That was about 120 odd years ago.
ja.
So do your own research. That's what I would say. And then the other thing, the most powerful thing you could ever do is do a silver detox. You go into a health store that sells this brand, which I cannot now say in this sentence. I think everybody knows what I'm talking about. Go into a health store, go into a drogisterij and say, I want to use nanoparticles of silver to do a pathogenic detox, please. And they will get you the information that you need, and they will get you the products that you need. That is those two things, doing your own research and doing a silver detox, are, I think, the two fundamental, ground changing things that will change our society. I want to see, and you know what? I want to see a bottle of silver in every house. And I don't give a shit what brand it is. My brand, somebody else's brand, whatever. It has nothing to do with that. I want to see one silver bottle in every house. Why? Because then people have done their research. They know they're not fooled anymore. They're not being sold antibiotics that aren't working anymore. They are understanding what it takes to maintain their own health. That, just that one thing, is it will pull the floor out from the pharmaceutical, underneath the pharmaceutical cartel.
Ja,
It will change the world and put power back in the hands of people, because knowledge is power.
klopt. Maar de grote uitdaging is, waar haal je de kennis, de informatie vandaan? Hè? Ik ben zeker voorstander van doe je eigen onderzoek. Maar dan zullen luisteraars zeggen, ja, maar waar begin ik? Ik heb geen idee waar ik moet beginnen. En in deze tijd, waar beginnen mensen? Met AI.
Yep, sure. They begin with AI, but there's also the resource of the Nano Mineral Water Academy. We have an awful lot of knowledge there based on, so there's an awful lot of science there. We've got the vademecums for all of our products, which is all the science behind these products. That's a good place to start, but it's not the only place.
Nee,
It is not the only place. I mean, it is definitely a good place, but there is, we have the world's greatest library. Everything is online now. You can find so much. And trust me, when you start digging
ja,
and you start researching, you will begin to understand what is the truth and what is lies. And I tell you why I say that. Because here's a fact: the truth was there before the lies, and you will recognize it when you see it.
And the truth was always there. Voor duizenden jaren geleden was de waarheid er al. En de farao's en al die volkeren, die oervolkeren die uit de geschiedenisboeken zijn gewist, die wisten het allemaal. En daarom is die geschiedenis zo interessant. Steven, dank je wel. Dank je wel voor je uitleg, maar dank je wel voor je passie, voor je energie. Hij was voelbaar hier helemaal in Spanje. Ehm, ja, we zullen de informatie bij de podcast zetten. Wat zou je als laatste nog aan de luisteraars willen meegeven?
I hope I see you all on the 21st of March when I do the talk on Ancient Gold 2, the hidden truth about silica. Um, and I hope you will actually come to the Academy. And there is a PDF apparently that we're going to give you that will be with this podcast, which will have that information. Art, I love you. I think what you do in Sardinia is amazing. My girlfriend brought me to one of your talks, and I really, one of these days, we are going to come and to Sardinia to have that experience with you. Thank you so much.
Graag gedaan. Dankjewel voor het compliment. Ja, Sardinië is ook waanzinnig, net zoals Egypte en andere plekken op deze wereld. De Academy, die gaan we zeker verspreiden. Zijn jullie ook te volgen op social media, Steven?
Yes, of course. There's what's the social media for Nanomineralen.nl. There's also thehealthfactory.com and thehealthfactory.nl, which is that
Oké.
brand I'm not
We
allowed
zullen
to
ze, we
mention.
zullen ze, nee, we zullen ze allemaal zullen we het bij deze podcast zetten. Dus dankjewel. Dankjewel.
Yeah.
Keep on the good job. En nou ja, we gaan elkaar zeker weer ergens ontmoeten. Ik moet zeggen, ik heb hiervan genoten. En ik ben heel erg benieuwd naar de Academy. En ik ga hem zeker volgen. En ik ga hem verspreiden. En ik kan hem ook wel in mijn eigen nieuwsbrief verspreiden. Ik denk dat het heel goed past bij wat ik doe. Dankjewel nogmaals, Steven. En aan de luisteraars, ja, super fijn dat je vandaag hebt gekeken, geluisterd naar Steven van Nanomineralen uit Heemstede. En er is zoveel verloren kennis. En die kennis is gelinkt aan jouw gezondheid, mijn gezondheid en aan die van Steven en zijn collega's. En juist die gezondheid is zo belangrijk. Want een gezond iemand die heeft duizenden wensen. Maar iemand die ziek is, heeft maar één wens. En dat is beter worden. En helaas zijn er heel veel mensen ziek. Dus verspreid deze kennis. Verspreid de passie van deze fantastische pioniers. Passievolle mensen. Ik heb hem gevoeld, Steven. Graag tot de volgende keer allemaal. En als je nog eens een tip hebt over een andere pionier, over een onderwerp of een onderwerp wat we zelf mogen uitdiepen, Tatjana, mijn partner, die doet dat gerust. Zij is de analist van ons tweede. Ik heb graag de interviews met mensen. Maar heb je een onderwerp of een expert? Tips zijn altijd van harte welkom. Graag tot een volgende keer. Maar vergeet niet, je gezondheid is je meest waardevolle bezit. Steven, fijne dag vandaag.
Thank you, brother. Take care.